Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the first week of February 2026. Visit Legacy.com to read full obituaries for most of the people featured in this video and leave your own condolences on their Legacy page. Activist and nonprofit founder Shirley died January 27, 2026 in Nevada at the age of 58. She was the founder and CEO of Beauty to the Streetz, where she served the homeless by bringing them food and hygiene resources, as well as cutting and coloring their hair and providing mobile showers. Raines is being remembered for offering dignity and compassion to people in need. A note to remember, sometimes personal information such as someone's cause of death is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Voice actor Alexis Ortega died January 26, 2026 at the age of 38. He provided the Spanish dubs of Spider-Man's voice in several Marvel movies, including Spider-Man: Homecoming and Avengers: Infinity War. Ortega is also being remembered for his voices in the Spanish versions of movies like Big Hero 6 and Star Wars: Rogue One. Actress Catherine O'Hara died January 30, 2026 at her home in Los Angeles. She died after a brief illness at the age of 71. After getting her start in sketch comedy on SCTV, she spent decades making us laugh in movies like Beetlejuice, Home Alone, Best in Show, and many more. O'Hara is being remembered for her award-winning performance as former soap opera star Moira Rose on the hit sitcom Schitt's Creek. Actor Demond Wilson died January 30, 2026 at his home in Palm Springs, California. He died of complications from prostate cancer at the age of 79. He starred in the 1970s hit sitcom Sanford and Son, playing Lamont Sanford alongside comedian Red Fox as his father, Fred Sanford. He is also being remembered for starring on TV in the sitcoms The New Odd Couple and Baby I'm Back. Wilson was a U.S. Army veteran of the Vietnam War, where he was wounded. Baseball coach Mark Marquess died January 30, 2026 at the age of 78. He spent 41 years as the head coach of the Stanford University Cardinals baseball team, coaching them to back-to-back College World Series championships in the 80s. Marquess is being remembered as a beloved figure at Stanford, who was honored as NCAA Coach of the Year 3 times and as a member of the Stanford Athletics Hall of Fame. Musician Billy Bass Nelson died January 31, 2026 at the age of 75. He was the original bass guitarist for the legendary Funkadelic, and he contributed lead vocals on songs like Good Old Music and Friday Night, August 14th. Nelson is being remembered as a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his important contributions to the evolution of funk. Musician Parthenon Huxley died January 30, 2026 at the age of 70. He was best known for his work with the Electric Light Orchestra Part 2 and the orchestra, contributing guitar and vocals to the spin-off of the progressive prog rockers ELO. Huxley is also being remembered for his solo career, featuring well-regarded power pop. Singer and songwriter Chuck Negron died February 2, 2026 at his home in Los Angeles. He died of complications from heart failure and COPD at the age of 83. He was a co-founder of Three Dog Night, the soulful, genre-bending rockers that ruled the airwaves in the 1960s and 70s with hits like Black and White and Mama Told Me Not to Come. Negron is being remembered as one of the band's 3 frontmen, providing lead vocals on Joy to the World, One, An Old-Fashioned Love Song, and other beloved songs. Author James Sallis died January 27, 2026 after a long illness at the age of 81. He was best known for his 2005 novel Drive, a noir mystery that was adapted into an acclaimed film starring Ryan Gosling. Sallis is also being remembered for his Lou Griffin series of detective novels, including The Long-Legged Fly and Moth. Singer and songwriter Bryan Loren died in January 2026 at the age of 59. He collaborated with Michael Jackson, contributing to his album Dangerous. The two worked together to write Loren's best-known song, the top 20 hit Do the Bartman from The Simpsons. Loren is also being remembered for his own recordings, including Lollipop Love and Do You Really Love Me from his 1984 self-titled debut album. Singer and songwriter Ron Kenoly died February 3, 2026 at the age of 81. He was beloved for his gospel music, especially his signature song, Ancient of Days, as well as Anointing Fall on Me and Morning into Dancing. He is also being remembered as a former worship leader at Jubilee Christian Center in San Jose, California, and as the author of books on praise and worship. Kenoly was a U.S. Air Force veteran who served in the 1960s. Snooker player and commentator John Virgo died February 4, 2026 in Spain at the age of 79. He was one of England's most legendary snooker players, a UK champion, and a member of the World Snooker Hall of Fame. Virgo is also being remembered as the co-host of the BBC TV game show Big Break and a commentator for the BBC for decades until just weeks before his death. Singer and photographer Lamont McLemore died February 3, 2026 at his home in Las Vegas. He died of natural causes at the age of 90. He was a founding member of the Fifth Dimension, singing bass vocals on their 1960s hits like Up, Up and Away, Aquarius Let the Sunshine In, and Wedding Bell Blues. He is also being remembered as a photographer. He spent decades taking photos for Jet and Ebony magazines, among others. McLemore was a U.S. Navy veteran who served in the 1950s. Some of the most heartfelt obituaries we saw this week at Legacy were for regular, everyday people in communities all across the country. Those include this passionate Wheel of Fortune fan who was born on Groundhog Day and whose obituary notes that she passed away, quote, 13 days shy of the 51st anniversary of her 39th birthday. This 97-year-old great-grandfather from Indiana, who was a fine artist, a longtime college professor, and a lifelong supporter of his alma mater, Notre Dame. And this Wisconsin farmer, who married his 4-H sweetheart, taught his children and grandchildren all about cattle, and dedicated himself to doing good work with the Lutheran Church and the Lions Club. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 5 years ago this week, actor Christopher Plummer died at the age of 91. His beloved films included The Sound of Music, Knives Out, and Beginners, for which he set a record as the oldest actor to win an Academy Award. Five years ago this week, actor Dustin Diamond died at the age of 44. He became a sitcom star of the 90s when he played Screech on Saved by the Bell. 10 years ago this week, musician and songwriter Maurice White died at the age of 71. He was the founder and leader of Earth, Wind & Fire, known for upbeat hits like Shining Star and September. 20 years ago this week, actor Al Lewis died at the age of 82. After starring in Car 54 Where Are You?, he became best known as Grandpa Munster on The Munsters. 30 years ago this week, actress Audrey Meadows died at the age of 73. She was a TV pioneer as one of the stars of the classic sitcom The Honeymooners. 30 years ago this week, dancer, actor, and singer Gene Kelly died at the age of 83. He starred in beloved movie musicals, including An American in Paris and Singin' in the Rain. 50 years ago this week, musician and composer Vince Guaraldi died at the age of 47. He was a jazz pianist, best known for his music for the Peanuts holiday specials, especially his songs Linus and Lucy and Christmas Time is Here. Actress Jessica Walter was born 85 years ago this week. She died in March 2021 at the age of 80. She had a memorable movie role in Play Misty for Me and starred on TV in Arrested Development. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in West Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of former delegate John Overington, the longest-serving member of the West Virginia House of Delegates. Flags in New York have been lowered to honor the memory of retired New York State Police Major Frank J. Kaiser, who died from an illness stemming from his assignment in and around Ground Zero following the terrorist attack on September 11, 2001. Flags in Alabama have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative James Howard Sanderford. Flags in Tennessee have been lowered to honor the memory of Weakley County Deputy Sheriff Derek Bonham, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Iowa have been lowered to honor the memory of former lawyer and federal judge Robert W. Pratt. Flags in Louisiana have been lowered to honor the memory of Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office Deputy Christopher Paul Ohlmeyer. Flags in Indiana have been lowered to honor the memory of former U.S. Representative Lee Hamilton. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.